Hi everybody, welcome to the Todd and Erin daily stream. Today is the last day you'll have to put up with just me. Erin is coming back. She's been away, 4 days? I'm looking forward to seeing her. I'm sure you are really looking forward to seeing less of me, which I'm all for, which is good. Last night something tragic happened at our house. I got zooped. I'll tell you how I retaliated early this morning in the darkness of the day. But first, let's take a look at a video. Eat more vegetables. Eat more vegetables. What kind of vegetables? Well, no kidding, Sherlock. Everyone's supposed to eat more vegetables. Hang on, I gotta do something really quick. I don't want these to overcook. Brussels sprouts. That's what we're talking about. Brussels sprouts today. Hang on. Brussels sprouts. All right, so I'm going to give you something really easy to do with this. It's so easy. Every time we have friends over at the house, like Erin's parents and stuff like that, and her family, everyone volunteers to make this because they know it's that easy. That's the only reason. First of all, Brussels sprouts. The usual group, which we have the Brussels sprouts cut in half. We have the bacon, shallots over here, and then balsamic vinegar. That's all it's going to take, those items. Now, one of the big questions on this is, do you trim the ends off of these? Now, I think I'll show you here. We're talking about that right there. And the older they get, the kind of age they look. But here is the way you judge this. If it is friends, like good friends and family, don't bother doing it. Make them live with it. If it's someone you're trying to impress, haven't known that long, then go ahead and clean them up. That's it. What was the other thing? Somebody asked me about knives the other day, and they were about to buy some, and they wanted to get some advice on that. And I'm not an expert. The only advice I have is what my life has been like so far. Maybe don't follow that, and maybe wear a hat when your hair's that bad. Okay, so the thing is that went to buy some knives, bought these 25 years ago. And my wife gave them to me, a lot of them, as a present because then I would cook for her. Now, these are Henkels. These are German. All the good ones are German. And there's also Wolfstaff. And so this one would cost about $60, $65. If this was a Wolfstaff, it'd be $150. So the thing I learned over the past many years is if you want some good German knives, go to the DI, go to the Salvation Army. I don't want to tell you this, but I'm going to. So you go in their kitchen section, you know, where all the frightening cookware is, right? And maybe you're looking for a pot lid that'll fit a pot that you have, or your mom needs something like that, or whatever. And you know, you go to the end of the lane there, and there's silverware, and there's nothing that matches. It's all just butter knives and forks, and nothing matches whatsoever. That's where you go, but you look in the knife bin, and there's all these plastic handle, serrated knives with the pointy ends, and they've got all those knives. Guess how many of these I found? I found so many of these, I don't even take them anymore for $1. And all you have to look for is the fact that the blade runs all the way through the handle. You got 3 rivets, and basically, it's a heavy knife. It's German, and you got it for $1. Hang on, something's burning. All right, so there's only 3 ingredients here. And what we're going to do is we cook down the bacon. I've taken most of the grease out of the pan already, so it doesn't have a lot of grease in it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the shallots in. Can I put this on my wood board without burning it? I think that's the question. Hang on, right there. All right, so I'm going to put the shallots in. Like I said, this thing is like, I've already got the Brussels sprouts And I just cut them in half like you see, and I have steamed them. Now we're going to let this put back on the stove and let it sit just for a little bit to get those flavors together. You want another knife story? All right, here's another knife story. There's my nice knife. So I have about, I don't know, 10 different kinds of knives from these people. The handles broke. The handles broke like right there, just a crack, right in the handle, little crack, and they're guaranteed for life. And I had 6 of them. It must have been a bad batch or something. That's the only thing I could think of. So I had the crack in it, and so I remember they have a lifetime guarantee. So I boxed up knives, which, by the way, isn't as easy as it sounds. There's a lot of pointy bits. And I sent it to them, and they sent me a letter saying, hey, we got your knives, and then 2 weeks later, a box shows up with all brand new knives in it. And they said, sorry for the inconvenience. They had a problem. It was a bad batch that they had put the handles together with, and so I had them. And then, if this isn't a lesson from the heavens, they said one of the knives you sent us was a Wulstafalafel, that other German knife company, the expensive one. So what we did is we gave it to a person, and evidently all the knife companies are on like a single block in New York City. And that person carried my knife to another company, one of their rivals, gave it to them with the information. They contacted me saying, hey, we got your knife. The people over at Henkel brought it to us. We'll be sending it to you in 2 weeks. So Comcast, what's up? Not even their company. All right, where was I? Oh, I was cooking. So basically, I'm softening the onions as we speak. Hang on one second. And this doesn't take any time at all. I'm going to give it a couple more seconds. And the other thing is, let's go back to Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts. Balsamic vinegar. So you got the fat from the bacon. Don't add salt to this, by the way. You know that. The balsamic vinegar is acidic, and so it cuts through the fat of the bacon, and it also sparkles up, and that's a term I'm never going to use again, sparkles up the Brussels sprouts and makes them taste kind of like a salad, or more so. So what I'm going to do now is let me get over, and I'm going to put this together, and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so I'm just going to incorporate that. I got some of the moisture out of Brussels sprouts. See how green they are. All right. And now it's time for the balsamic vinegar, which is right here. And depend on how much you like it. You can always give it to your guests and have them put their own on, but I probably put 2 tablespoons. And I'm going to put a little bit more. Probably another teaspoon there. And now, I'm going to turn off the oven, and I'm just going to let it sit for a little bit. And I might even put something on top, like that. All right. So far, so good. Now we just got to show you what it tastes like, I guess. Silverware. I'm going to get this. Now, gosh, it's so pretty on a white plate, too. So there we were last night, just minding our own business, and Zoe heard something. And she looked out the window, and it was starting to get dark. And she goes, "Oh, look, it's our neighbor." And I said, "Well, what's our neighbor doing?" She goes, "Running away from our front door." And I don't have a Ring doorbell because that would have been a hilarious video. But basically what happened is I got zooked. And I got zooked more. And I got zooked more. And just to top off the insult, one of these jobbers. Now, I've been pretty reserved about dropping things off at people's doorsteps this summer. Not always, but sometimes when the zooks get too big or there's too many of them, I have dropped off a few. But this time it was personal. And so we gathered up all our big squash that we weren't going to really eat because we're up to here and with them. And we went early this morning on the way before school and we dropped them off in retaliation. Is that childish? Perhaps. Did it feel good? Absolutely. I want to tell you about an event, and it's WOW.org. It's Women of Worth. And this is an organization. They have a deal coming up on November 9th. They have, it's a dinner, it's a celebration, and it's to spotlight what this organization does. It's Women of Worth. And this is what they do. It's a proclamation, and Spotlight celebrates each woman's achievement of rebuilding their life after domestic violence, forced polygamy, substance abuse, or life-threatening illnesses. And this is to celebrate the power of women and the power to get back and to become their best. And it's a great organization. Now, do you remember Ketchy? Ketchy on American has Got Talent. Do you remember her singing? She is one of two kids that were the only two survivors in a plane crash in 2005. Horrendous burns. It's been through hundreds of surgeries. She showed up on America's Got Talent. And she is such a singer, such a vocalist. As a matter of fact, when they were there and she started singing, Simon actually jumped up and just hit the buzzer and sent her to the finals. She was that good. Well, she is now an inspirational speaker, travels the world doing this, and she is going to be there, and you have an opportunity to do a meet and greet with her. Now, if you want to know more about the festivities, the dinner, the silent auction, all these great things, and meeting Ketchy, all you have to do is go to WOWutah.org. That's WOW, Women of Worth, Utah.org for all the information. It's going to be a great night. And you get to meet her and listen to her sing. How cool is that? So if you're interested, once again, WOWutah.org. Here's some, I'm going to do a Tell Me Something Good. Erin usually does this, but this is more of a wildlife thing, so I thought I'd do that. Do you know, in the world, right now, everybody's talking about extinction and how many animals, and the Amazon and all this, and white rhinos, there are only 2 of them. But this would not even work on Noah's Ark because they're both female. So you have 2 girl rhinos, and what are you going to do? Well, the last male died in 2017. He was actually euthanized because of his old age. He was 45, and he had all these health issues, and he was suffering. And so what they did is they euthanized him, which is the just thing to do. But you can imagine how they felt because last male, well, the last couple males, what they did is they collected male rhino stuff, and they froze it, and then they have the 2 females, and they have, in Italy, they have created embryos that they will implant in the females. Now the funny thing is, and I wish I had this photo for you, but it's this picture of this Italian female scientist leaning over what looks like one pot with a little fog on it, stirring it. And it looks exactly like a one pot. But anyway, so the Italians did this. They finally figured it out. Around the world, they've been working on this, but the Italians actually figured it out, which I think is pretty cool. And they are now have hope, and their goal is to get a herd This is long term because they got to grow up to get a herd of 5 to release back into the wild. So we might not have lost the white rhino. I think that's a cool story, and I think that gives us hope. But that's just me. So anyway, Erin will be back tomorrow. Thank goodness. Thank goodness for you. How happy you will be. Make sure if you have a Ring doorbell to keep a lookout for those. And we'll see you tomorrow, we, Erin and I, on the Todd and Erin Daily Stream. All right, we'll see you. Bye. I'm so tired of zucchini.